welcome to another episode of Jimmy B Bricks. I hope I had your curiosity and now I have your attention. Step into my imagination as I share my LEGO builds ranging from Speed Champion sets, Marvel, Star Wars, to even custom designs, with a focus on race cars and garage builds and some of my favorite movies and shows. And don't forget, check out my other content on the other platforms. On this week's episode, originally it was going to be a one-set review, but this is another one that was built while still considering the channel, and I did not take that much building footage of it, so I figured I would throw in a set that came before it and make it a double feature. But first, let's go over some things. First up, Optimus Prime. Released back in 2022, not only the first Transformers LEGO set, but the first LEGO set that can actually transform without removing any pieces, coming in at 1,508 pieces, still available at a retail for $179.99. Then we have our next legend, Bumblebee. Released in July of last year, retailing at $89.99, there were some disappointments that was the Beetle car version, but both sets are based off the original series and not the Michael Bay movie version, where Bumblebee is a Camaro. A lot were upset over this, but I understand LEGO was going towards not only the original factor, but the nostalgia value as well. And earlier this month, we got our first brickheads for Optimus and Bumble. It's worth to mention, back in 2022, LEGO announced that their LEGO Creator Expert theme will be rebranded as LEGO Icons. LEGO's reason is that it will make it easier for adults to see which sets were meant for their age range. You can see the change here with the box art. Although Optimus Prime and other sets were not considered Creator Expert theme, the boxes did not feature a logo but an all-black design. In other words, LEGO wanted to remind all their past younger builders and new builders that there are sets for all ages. Now, let's tune in over at the shop. Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots, in his truck form. This is actually one of the first few sets that I got when I got back into LEGO a few years back, when it was announced that Optimus Prime was being released, and I was like, great timing for me to get back into it. It was also announced that it would be the first set, as I mentioned before, to be able to transform without moving any pieces. And the only piece you do actually remove is this piece right here, which turns into his blaster. This set is really well built and solid and stable, and one of the reasons is for these rubber pieces you see right there. I'll explain more later in the video. And here we have what comes with the set is his jetpack, his axe, an energon cube, and the replacement plate you put on once you transform into robot mode. Also included is his plaque with the details of his ratings, which gave me the first clue that more sets of these were coming. We do have to give a nod to the designer for adding so many features from the axe that I actually barely remember him having one, and to the Matrix of Leadership artifact that Optimus carries, and his jetpack when he needs to fly. When I say it's a solid build, what I should say is it's a solid display build. Pieces do come off it if you start fidgeting around with it, but once in robot form, the rubber orange pieces mentioned before keeps his legs planted. Speaking of his legs, I would say that that was one of the only drags of this set, since it was time consuming doing just one, and you basically repeating the same steps for the other leg. Cue the photo shoot. And like I said, it was pretty fun making him do different poses. I did make a quick video after I built it a few years back, but for obvious copyright reasons, you'll have to check that out on my other platform. Moving on to Bumblebee, still was in the early stages of the channel, but I did manage to capture some footage. This new piece element right here is the approach the designers took to be able to transform Bumblebee. Both sets have their Autobots emblem printed. And here we have Bumblebee rolling out in auto form. Coincidentally, I did have the opposite experiences with both sets, as with the Optimus Prime, I had more of a drag build, but in the end, it was a great display set. As with Bumblebee, it was a fun building it, but not so great as a display set. I'll explain more as we go in. As we take a look at Bumblebee's bumper and sticker details, I do want to give it credit. In auto form, it is a solid build. It moves freely, nothing comes apart. It makes it great for display in auto form so far. Here's his plaque with the details of his ratings. As I said before, that's what gave me the clue that there were more sets of these coming. as we get to see Bumblebee in his robot form. Makes for a great display set. It's just limited on the poses, as I mentioned before. He not as flexible as Optimus is. You can move his head around, you can move his hands around, but cannot move his joints, can't move his arms too much, and you could not really move his legs because he can tip over and lose his balance. Nonetheless, he makes a great addition, standing next to Optimus Prime, and perhaps more. Stay tuned. As we take a look at his blaster here, just another example about bad posing. He cannot really hold the blaster any other way without it falling out his hand. And this is the new element piece I mentioned before, where it made it possible for a Bumblebee to transform. His windshield does come off to make his wings. I've noticed online that different variations how you can put it on his wings. Here's a couple of them. Let's take a closer look at the windshield / wings. He also comes with a spare emblem and a spare license plate, with a different name on it actually. You also have the option to put the emblem on his chest or down on his leg. Cue the photo shoot. They do look pretty amazing sitting next to each other in auto form. I really can't stress enough how glad I am they went with printed emblems over stickers. They just look incredible sitting next to each other, I gotta say. But let's cue the last photo shoot. There you have it, Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. Both sets are great to have, but if you choose to pick up Bumblebee, just be prepared as limited to what Optimus can do. But if you're a fan, you might be interested to hear the next. According to multiple sources, the upcoming August Icons themed set release will be a Decepticon, SOUNDWAVE to be exact, and based on the amount of pieces, he will be close to Optimus size. This paves the path for even more future sets to come. Perhaps Megatron? Well, we'll have to wait. That's our cue. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and be sure to watch us on our other platforms for videos, photos, and LEGO news. I hope I earned your attention. Until next week, stay tuned.